morning, everyone. Thank you for showing up this morning. And what are all these empty chairs?
Our guests, our presenters,
Our presenters.
our additional presenters.
Oh, there's the answer. Sean, you feel good? Sounds good? All right.
Has
Jeff?
anybody watched it on YouTube?
Bonjour, chef.
That's an
1 2 1 2.
So it's on Cairo, not as a podcast.
Good morning, YouTubers.
I don't
Good
know.
morning.
I don't
Good
hear
morning.
us out
Good
there.
morning.
I don't hear us out there.
1 2 1 2. Bonjour.
Now I
There
hear
you
us.
go.
You always sound
Pam, is your mic
correct.
on?
It is today.
She's playing the trivia today.
Are you?
No. After getting skunked last week, I am not going to return for a long time.
She is not gonna forget that for days.
I'm not.
For weeks. All right. Terry is our audience motivator.
What that means is I go like this and you guys go like that. Right?
Our restrooms are right down the hall. 1225 is the code. And you saw the coffee. We're waiting for the quiche to cool down a little bit. I think that's it. Water for tea.
The
You want
melon's
tea, just-
incredible. It's Hannah's Choice from Tom and Jackie's farm, and it is going to blow your mind. It's really perfumed and spectacular.
About 3 days. Not perfect.
Not ready or over ready?
No, not ready. About 2 or 3 days.
Okay, you can come back in 3 days.
Could have
We'll do this
spent
again.
a little more time on the ground in the heat over there. There you go.
Yeah.
And then the plum coffee cake. Those are Santa Rosa plums off our tree from the farm also. So
At least they didn't steal the cantaloupes. Too heavy.
somebody came and stole all the peaches off our tree.
Can you imagine going into the yard and taking all the peaches? It's awful. Yeah.
In the nice little town, homey town, country town of Prosser, Washington, there's a peach. There's someone in the country who's eating all my peaches. Come
Yeah.
on. There's a song in that. Come on.
Maybe he could call his favorite the Chicks and get them to write it. Or who stole my peaches?
Oh, what's his name? Beck already wrote it. He went to the country and ate all my peaches. He moved to the country. Isn't that Beck?
Is that
Or
Beck,
is that the
Terry?
dead president? Dead presidents, yeah.
Yeah, even better. That's about the right length for what this subject.
Out here in the country, you steal my pitch. I'll come to see you.
Not
and
gonna
I
make
will
it.
make
Nope. Although we thought we had a bear because we thought we were trying to identify scat that was in the yard that was super smelly and weird looking. We didn't recognize it, and we looked it up, and the first thing we found that looked like it was bear scat, and it turned out it was not a wolverine, a badger. It's badger scat. So we had a badger for 3 weeks. They're transient badgers. They hang around for a bit, and then they just take off.
They don't eat the entire garden, just
No.
some of it.
They eat the chickens. is what they eat.
Oh yeah,
We found a chicken stuck in the fence. Its head
trying
gone,
to run away.
but the body was still stuck in the fence.
No.
That's horrible if you're the chicken, not if you're the badger.
And then something got into our chicks. We lost 3 of our 6 new chicks.
Boy, life in the country is intense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It broke in half, huh? Wow. Were they ripe when that happened, or were they not ripe? Also, you could.
They were heavy. That's what split the tree. They were heavy.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Are we set and ready to go? It's 9:13. We're very late today.
We're very late.
But then again,
Let's blame Sean.
yeah.
He's the technical director.
You finished early yesterday, though, so we got back 15 minutes
Oh, here
of
we
our
go.
life.
We put them back to back. We look normal.
And we're in the kitchen here at the Hot Stove Society on Cairo Radio. Have a lively group here today. It's been a pleasure. You know, last week I went on a rant for my taste of the week. So this week I'm going to be very positive.
Really?
Yeah, because people think I can be negative, and I don't mean to be. I have an opinion about things.
Yeah.
Remember
That's
last
what
week?
it sounds
Last
like.
week the whole fruit cup thing that wasn't
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my own
There
restaurant.
was a good. There was
But
a good.
we're not going to talk about that today. Today's a much more positive week. I'm Tom Douglas. I own several joints here around town, including the Dahlia Bakery, Serious Pie. The new Serious Pie in Totem Lake is kicking it.
Cool.
And then also Seatown Restaurant, where I kind of hang out on weekends. Although I will be in France for the next 2 weeks.
Vous,
Ooh la
Monsieur.
la.
Yeah, how about that?
Monsieur
So
Tom in Paris.
we'll have a different kind of oyster over at Bellon, maybe.
A ballon, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's what's the time of the year is
Too
this?
hot
Oh
for
yeah,
'em.
yeah. Yeah, I would wait on the oyster.
Okay, all right, good. Thanks for the warning, chef.
No problem.
Eat some squash.
Eat some squash. And of course, Lola right downstairs, and this lovely cooking school where we do our show from, and it's named after is the Hot Stove Society, and we're in the Hotel Andra. It's a beautiful hotel. It's kind of got a Swedish accent about its design.
Is it furnished by IKEA? No.
No, but just the
Okay,
opposite.
I'm
The
just
owner
kidding.
here has Craig
Yes.
has very expensive taste.
Very.
Like those chairs out there in the lobby, I would never. I mean, he paid like $1,200 a piece for those. I would never.
Don't say that on the mic. Somebody's gonna come and steal them.
Well, whatever.
And they
They're
have
10
real reindeer pelt on them.
Ooh, now we got issues. Yeah, I didn't get the chops. Chef, welcome.
Thierry Roturo, the chef in the hat, here with you, Tom, every Friday. Great audience today. I'm excited. There's a birthday in the house.
Yeah.
Young man over there.
Yeah,
Forgot to ask him his name, but I know it's his birthday. I guessed it.
like it.
And very excited to be here. We have a big show coming up. We're going to talk about a few things I'm not familiar with and some I'm familiar with. So that's cool.
It's always fun to learn.
It's
That's
always
what we do on this
educational.
show, right?
I feel like a listener on our own radio show.
Pamela Hinckley is our producer, and she puts these show sheets together. And so sometimes we look askance,
Yeah.
like where did this idea come from? And then you look at Pamela, and then you realize she's wacko.
And she's our listener, so she's acting like the listener
Yeah.
want to hear something.
You know, way back
There you have
when
it.
Tina, our original producer, always used to say, "Don't be so chefy."
Yeah.
On this show.
Yeah.
And so this is Pamela is our anti-chefy. Sean, our technical producer, is sitting over there in the corner, over by our Rub with Love gift shop. And hello, everyone. Welcome. Don't forget, we're on YouTube. If you
Oh,
wanna,
yeah,
if you
we're
wanna
live
see
on
us live
YouTube.
on YouTube. What do you do?
Every Friday, 9 to 11, you can just
Hang
get
with
on
us.
just get on tomdouglas.com and click on the YouTube channel and you'll see us live.
There you go.
If that's of any interest.
Today, it's peak of the season, back to school lunch boxes. And the hipsters are all going for bento boxes these days. They are the rage. And there's some really cool ones out there that have forks and spoons and everything included. You just bring it all and bring it back.
None of them come with the food already made, is it?
No, they don't. Unless you go to Guajamaya, you can buy a bento box
Here we go.
every morning on your way to school. The team behind the magic at Seattle restaurant Off Alley, Evan how do you say it, Pam?
We're going to ask
See,
him.
that's a big producer issue
Listening.
right there. Evan and Megna. Yes, there we go. They're in the kitchen with us for 2 segments. Eastside restaurant reviews from our enthusiastic buddies, summer camp buddies. Remember my summer camp? Becky, Guzack, and Peggy Vert are going to give us a little Eastside restaurant review.
Can't wait to hear
Yeah, I'm curious if they've been to
your
the
pizza
hottest
place.
new joint on the east side in the village at Totem Lake, which is Serious Pie Totem Lake. Kebab extravaganza for your Labor Day barbecue. And we can't ever not have, unless Pamela decides to, a tasty
Trivia
trivia
question.
challenge brought to you by Rub with Love's Spice Rubs. So there we go. Taste of the week. Yes, sir. What you
My
got?
first taste of the week is gonna have to be this gorgeous melon that's right here.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna cheat again. Yesterday or the other day, I did the peach you brought from Prosser Farm. This is not from Prosser Farm, but
It
this
is.
this is from Prosser Farm
Yeah.
too, and it's just unbelievable.
Every
It
year I
tastes-
look forward
it
to those.
tastes
yeah.
like a melon should taste.
Mhm.
when it's in season. I mean, this is perfect. My other taste of the week is corn. I just had my first corn. For some reason, this summer I haven't had much corn, and I had some white corn yesterday. I made a corn, raw corn kernel, and the last of the blueberry I went to pick a few days ago. Salad with diced white onion, white vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper, and a lot of anise isa, and let that sit for a couple of minutes on the counter, and eat that with some cold chicken that was roasted, pre-roasted, sliced cold chicken, kind of like a salad.
Thank God I was cook chef. I thought you were going to say it was raw. I know
Yeah,
you're
chicken tartare is not my thing. Anyway, it was quite scrumptious, and it reminded me of time to eat corn. Because we're gonna have corn between now and the next couple of weeks, and then it's gonna be gone. So, white corn, sweet, delicious, tasty, no strings attached. No strings attached on corn is important.
the silk. That's the silk.
Yes, the
Yeah.
silk.
The silk. My taste of the week. I did my class here last night, which was called Tom's Summer Favorites or summer
Celebrating
cooking,
summer
celebrating
bounty.
summer. Yeah. Anyway, we had a good time. We had a full house, and it feels like we don't do as many social classes in the summertime because people are very busy. But it was a nice group last night. So we had corn and pepper soup.
Oh,
We had shrimp kebabs with lots of citrus and a little tomatillo salsa. We had bread salad, the big panzanella salad, and then of course we had peach upside down cake, the brown butter cake.
did Pam make
But
it?
a couple of things about the class last night that were super fun and are kind of my taste of the week. One is you literally have to burn the bread
To do the salad?
to do the salad. You
Yeah.
literally have to char it so hard that it looks burnt, like it's going to gross you out,
Right.
burnt, and it's delicious. And then because you're going to chop it up and put it in the salad with all the dressing and everything, and that caramelized bread really is what comes through. And you leave the crust on. Don't take the crust off.
Right.
Secondly, is I made an impromptu from the garden little appetizer plate, like a mouche bûche,
Yeah.
as you like to say.
Amuse-bouche.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I bought a ham from Benton Country Hams in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee a while back, and I just keep working off of it. It's a 30-month aged ham right now, and it's just dry and salty and so good with the fresh peaches from our
Right.
farm. And then we had some blistered shishitos to go along with it.
Mm.
So you had salt, sweet, acid, spice, and it was just a beautiful combination. You had that, didn't you?
I love the texture combo.
Yeah,
That's what, yeah.
that's salty
moist
ham.
and sweet.
And you can only
salty.
eat like little chips of this ham because it's really salty.
Right.
But with that peach, of course,
Yeah.
prosciutto and melon is a
I
classic.
think you
but-
should slice some up for our friends here.
Oh, you do you?
I'd like another piece.
There you go. Why not?
With
Okay,
coffee.
what's in your bento box, chef?
Oh, we can hear that when
We're
we
going to
come
hear
back.
that when we come back on Cairo Radio. You're listening to the Hot Stove Society show. We're happy you're with us. 97.3 FM. Nice.
We're live at the stadium.
Good start, gentlemen.
Okay. We're going to keep running
Yeah,
because
keep
we're
going.
behind.
Yep.
Welcome back. That was a long break there. Our audience motivator is off duty right now.
Sorry, I was like looking somewhere else.
Kenji Lopez Alt gets a lot of press. He is the
As he
press.
should.
He is the press.
He is
the
our
press.
Seattle
But
press.
I'm just
man.
going to say right now, if you look at my first book that was written almost 30 years ago, there's a whole bento chapter. But because Kenji is Kenji, and people love him as they should, he's an awesome dude. He's been posting on Instagram some pictures of the bento boxes that his kids are going back to school with. Have you been following him?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't.
But like you, I want to say I was ahead of the bento box curve.
Oh, yeah?
Before, but his are much more spectacular because he has ones that seal at the top and where the compartments come together, so juices don't
yeah.
intermingle. And I have not.
It's called thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Like you're
I'm
bringing
still-
your toolbox to work, and what's on the ground? What's all that juice?
Right.
But it is a lovely way to serve food. So I am excited to hear some improvisational ideas from you two about what you would put in a bento, and maybe a quick minute about all the wonderful things we did with bento boxes at Tanaka-san, because they were our most popular thing
They
there.
certainly were. They certainly were. Um, well, there's two things I think that you have to consider on this bento thing, which is one is the box itself,
Right.
and does it lend itself to an ice pack? Because I don't see any space in here for ice packs, and I think that can be an issue.
A lot of them come with the thermal bag.
Right.
They do, because I don't
Yeah.
see them on these three that you
No,
brought as
no.
samples.
So
here.
you would put the thermal bag, ice pack, and then your bento
Correct.
inside.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because sometimes on these hard plastic ones, it's hard for the chill to get through it because it's
know.
got an insulation quality to it.
I chill my boxes ahead of time.
There you go. Anyway,
You're not gonna catch her.
no.
She's good.
Not this morning.
So there's just something to think about. So then, as far as the bento itself goes, you have to think about what it is that you love about bento and what you're capable of making, right? Because it can literally be the bento part is just the compartmentalized part. It's not a specific ingredients.
Well, I would think that for me, my view on bento box is it's a beautiful progression of people having to think about different things for their meal as opposed to one thing. And I think that's really healthy to have to think about, if you have 4 compartments in the box and you got to fill them up, you got to think about 4 different items you're going to eat.
Mhm.
Obviously, you're going to have to think of balance because you can't just put 4 pieces of chicken. Obviously, you're going to put 1 piece of chicken, cooked chicken, let's say, and whatever. And that's, to me, that's very healthy.
But
That
that's
kind of,
daunting to a parent at 7 o'clock in the morning that's trying to think about what to make.
you
for-
can make the bento box the night before. You don't have
Okay.
to wait for the morning. I would never make a bento box at 7 o'clock in the morning. Not me. I'm not that awake.
Yeah.
I would make it the night before. And that's something that's a process that you should work with your kid, especially if your kid is like 10 years old. They can help. They can help the process for the week. You go shopping on Saturday, you cook on Sunday, and you get the whole week lined up, 5 days.
So you can make it easy if you choose in one compartment, say just do fresh cantaloupe like we have right now.
Correct.
It travels
Seasonal.
beautifully. Like if you have put cut peaches in there, you got a problem by the time you get to lunch.
You take a little Ziploc bag, you put the peaches cut in there.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And
mm.
put
I
it
have
inside.
seen that people come
Yeah,
protecting
that's how you
them.
keep the juice. What are you going to do?
Well,
What do you mean, no, Tom?
Well, my point is part of the beauty of the bento box is you're not having all that packaging, right? Use this packaging and then you wash it and use it again tomorrow.
Same
You
with
don't
this-
have lots of wraps and things on the inside. No, you just don't see that in bento very much.
You don't wash your sandwich bags?
No.
Oh,
Does anybody wash their sandwich bags? Yay.
I
Okay,
do
so
all the
let's say
time.
one compartment has fresh cantaloupe. What's your next compartment?
well, I would say cold meat or cold fish, one of the
Mhm.
two. Like you go to Mutual Fish, you buy a nice, beautiful piece of king salmon, and you cook it on Sunday.
Mhm.
You have fish for the next 3 days. You
Mhm.
keep it in the refrigerator. You can create think tuna salad, think things like this. It's a salmon salad instead of a tuna salad, but you can make potatoes, you can make rice, you can do all kinds of things, and you can garnish that salad with during the next 3-4
Mhm.
days. Noodles, you could do cold noodles.
I think noodles are a good thing because remember, we're keeping a 10-year-old in our hearts and minds.
I agree, but
Yeah. A
um,
little pot sticker would be good.
again, this is a conversation to be had ahead. So there is your kid's not going to be selling his bento box for $20 to another kid
Hmm.
and come home hungry because he hasn't eaten all day. So you want to avoid that,
Right.
and to make everybody happy. Adults have a menu when they go to a restaurant so they can choose what they want to eat. You don't have to have a menu for your child, but you can have a discussion about, hey, I was thinking of making, some salmon. You love salmon, so
You know what Loretta's, my daughter's number one go-to for bento is?
no.
Masubi.
Sounds fabulous.
She loves masubi as part of a bento box. It's got the salty spam on it. It's got the sweet teriyaki.
I can see how that
It's
would
got
be.
the nori, the seaweed.
So you can use
wrap.
that as a treat because you can eat
Well,
that
that's just
every
one
day.
of the things in the 4.
Right.
Yeah, and we're all talking Asian food. There could
Right.
be any culture put in
I
these
started
kind of
with
separate
roasted
bins.
chicken. You can do a
Yeah.
Dijon mustard roasted chicken, and then it's cold, and you cut that one day with you can make it with haricot vert or edamames or whatever the
Mhm.
your child wants to eat or will eat easier. You can do pickled vegetables, carrots, and stuff like this. Kind of like a sweet and sour kind of idea where it's approachable for a child to eat or for a kid to eat. And lettuce, you can do lettuce in there. That's going to stay perfectly fine. So, you can do a balance, and then fruits and and a cookie or cake, or, there's nothing
What
wrong
kind of
with.
cake are you gonna send?
I was just thinking about Pam's cake yesterday.
Oh,
Remember the
no.
plum cake she made?
Uh-huh.
That would be the perfect thing to put in a bento box because it wouldn't dry out. It's moist enough. She put a few more olive oil spoon in there, spoon of olive oil. It would be perfect to put in a bento box because it would stay. Obviously you don't want to probably put a meringue because it's going to get humid and it's going to start, melting down. But you want to put something like a cake, and you make a cake for the week for, in the house. You make a cake on Sunday that's not too complicated, something you're familiar to make with, and then you slice it in small pieces and a little piece every day. It's a balanced meal.
One of the things at my class last night is we had everything at room temperature or colder, but almost everything at room temperature.
Right.
Because in the summertime, it's just the way you want to eat sometimes.
Right.
It's okay to have meat, chicken, and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff at room temperature as long as it's not sitting out for hours and hours.
Right.
So,
No, I mean, you put it in a
I
bento
don't worry
box like
about
we were
that.
talking about.
yeah.
No, me neither. If you do it correctly when you start, it's perfectly fine.
You know what travels beautifully are the fresh rolls, the Vietnamese fresh rolls.
Yeah.
Those would work nice in a bento
Absolutely.
box and stay moist.
And you can also put things outside the bento box. Like for me, the roll, I would put them probably outside the box to be able to utilize more items in the box. Like,
What more do you need? The roll
Oh,
has shrimp in it.
yeah.
Ours have little crispy pork rinds in there.
That
yeah.
sounds delicious.
I
A little-
think the structure of the bento box encourages you to think about balance, like
Yeah.
you started. So just making something so pretty with as many colors as possible and textures and sweet and salty. It just invites preparing a thoughtful, satisfying meal.
Yeah. Or you could make a nice Greek salad, cucumber, tomato, olives, feta. Simple
Little
as
lamb
that.
kebab
mint.
on top.
And then no, you put that in one of the compartments, so that becomes one of the items. And then you could do anything next to that. You could
Now,
do-
what kind of wine are we going to send with our kids?
Well, with that, probably
My
do
child loves rosé.
a nice little white Greek dry wine. That'd be
They're for
delicious.
adults too. There's a lot of people, adults carrying bento box lunches.
Well, there are, and you see still to this day, lots of more ethnic cultures bring to the job site
Yeah.
a truck full of lunch boxes that everyone comes and gets, and then puts them back in, and then they come again tomorrow, and it costs $5 a person or something.
Yeah.
I saw a tamale lady at the big building site down the street here. She just backed her pickup truck, hot tamales out of the back of it. Everyone was lined up. I wanted to park and line up. It was an awesome sight.
Bring us
that's
some.
really cool. Then you have that option. That's very cool.
Yeah. All right. We're going to welcome the folks from the Off Alley Restaurant to the show here when we come back on Cairo Radio. We're excited about that, and see you later. 97.3 FM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bonjour.
Guilty asking restaurant people to come in the morning.
That's all right, as long as they got coffee or something.
How late do you stay open?
Usually. Oh, really? You should go to them right now, so
Well, I mean, the thing is that everything obviously closes so early these days. So we're trying to have a place where people can drink wine day after show at like oil rooms and like midnight. So the thing is that we usually try to stay open until 10, so that like when we're not.
Hey, save this for the radio, sir. So Evan and Megna, and then how do I say your last name? Likely. Okay. I know I didn't have to pronounce all those. And Megna, your last name?
Would that make sense if they?
Prakash. How about Evan and Megna? Okay.
That's great.
How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Is that
I think
right?
they'll be all right.
Ça va?
Sharing one.
Okay.
Like a Friday morning.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Ready for the week.
Yep.
That's right.
Terry, you should introduce them because your enthusiasm for the place is stuck in my mind. And now our operations director has one of your T-shirts.
Really?
Sean Hartley. So
Okay.
he's always wearing it around the place. So I'm like, I gotta meet these people.
Has he been there, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
I don't know. Sometimes people wear t-shirts.
I know.
I mean,
You better not be wearing concert T-shirts that you haven't been to.
I would never do that.
Okay, see.
I would never do that, but I'm not everybody.
Whenever you're done, chef.
Okay. I'm
your,
done.
with your dissertation.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. We are back in the kitchen. This is Terry Rotiro, the chef in the hat.
And Tom Douglas.
And we have two wonderful guests. Magna, bonjour. Oh, you need to get close to this mic if you want us to hear you.
There.
Very close.
Okay,
See how close I am?
We're gonna have to start that again. So listen to your. No, you gotta.
Like this, like
No,
this.
So you might have to
Magna.
just trade the mic back
See
and
this?
forth as you speak.
We want to hear your voice like
You
this.
got. Listen to yourself. Talk now.
Hello?
Yeah. So and then talk here. You can hear the difference.
Understood.
Just talk right there. There we are. That sounds like a public television voice right there.
Sean, sorry.
Send
I'm
me
gonna
a
have to
check
re-
every month for $50.
Oh, I like that.
All right. So just jump right into the mic.
We are back in the kitchen. This is Terry Rotiro, the chef in a hat.
I'm Tom Douglas.
Oh, yes,
Watching
you
you do a wonderful job.
Introducing the next two guests we have here. Magna, bonjour.
Bonjour, chef.
Evan,
Bonjour, chef.
bonjour. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I was enamored when I went to your place with my friend Atina, who introduced me to your place. I had heard of it, but I had never been there. And I went there. We went there separately. We met there. And when we get there, I was surprised by the size of your restaurant. You have the biggest restaurant I've ever seen in my life. Of course, this is a joke. The restaurant is what, 10 feet wide?
6 feet 4 inches, which is a legal alleyway.
6 feet 4 inches wide, Tom. Have you
Mhm.
ever been in a 6-foot restaurant?
I wouldn't fit.
I mean,
I
it
went
was
to a little restaurant in Kyoto and I had to tuck in every
piece of your body.
every piece of my body to get through the door. And then I sat in the chair. And when I went to leave, the chair went with me.
We're talking about a restaurant called Off Alley in Columbia City. Marvelous restaurant, by the way. Very a feel-good place. You feel like you're in someone's house, which literally you are, because the two of you are basically it, with of course a few helpers around for you. But you have what, 6 seats inside, 8 seats?
12 seats indoors, and then we have an outdoor streetery that seats 8 to 10 comfortably.
That's a big restaurant.
That's your size. You love that little tiny
12-seat
thing.
restaurant. No, I love that. And I also, one of the things that I loved the most when I was in your restaurant was the fact that I sat at the end of the counter right next to you, working in that small, we call that a kitchen. It is a kitchen, but it is literally, you're in someone's kitchen, someone's house. So, you know, and Evan as a board, I'm going to retell my story. Maybe you changed something since then and you can come in anytime you want. But there was a big blackboard with a bunch of dishes. And you know how we are. We go in a restaurant and I'm like, well, I don't want to feel shortened, so we'll have one of each.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 12 items or something like that. And that was the menu of the day. That's what he has available. That's what he made. And man, that was a beautiful trip.
Oh,
I
thank you.
still remember very much my meal there. And sorry, I haven't been back. It's been a few months, but you know, it's like going to restaurants is a bit difficult. But
So how did you guys conceive of this restaurant? What was your plan?
So I've been cooking for almost 20 years now, and so I worked in a lot of really fantastic places. You know, worked under John Sundstrom for a
Mhm.
while, who I know worked for you for a
Yeah.
little while. And for me, one of the big things is that, you know, a lot of in my travels, especially like going to Spain and little parts of Southeast Asia, is that you can have really, really great food without that white tablecloth experience, which also comes with the white tablecloth price tag.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, a lot of the idea was essentially trying to kind of take that kind of punk rock mentality that I had growing up of saying, why do we do this? And then kind of taking all those questions of why do we polish silverware? Why do we have white tablecloths? All these aspects, and then remove the ones that were unnecessary and just get down to the bare bones of this is good food on a plate and it's good wine or beer in a glass.
Mhm.
And then just have it simple and try to keep it as affordable as possible because as we all know, vegetables and costs of meat and fish are skyrocketing. So meals can get really expensive really quickly.
And Megna, you?
Well, we're married, and I'm told that this is the nature of marriage, so I'm along for the ride. I used to be a corporate lawyer in a previous life, and we met while we lived in Paris. And he wanted to come home to be able to open his own place because his roots in the community run deep here. And here I am on a visa,
On a journey.
helping run the front of the house mostly. I also do a little bit of the back end, the paperwork and the books and stuff. Legal training, I guess I'm just naturally inclined towards it. It's been good so far. 2 years. We're still here. We're still married. I consider that a success.
What a combo, yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Do you miss law? You know, my daughter went to study law. She never wanted to join our company, and I never pressured her to. It was not why I opened restaurants. And within 2 years of being a lawyer and trying to figure out being lonely at her desk by herself and billable hours, she was like, I want to be back in the restaurant business. It's very different, isn't it, socially?
It's extremely different. I don't miss all the sitting, and I don't miss all the interaction with hedge funds and corporate managers.
Mhm.
I very much enjoy our daily life just because it's every day is a different day with that kind of structured environment like law. Every day tends to be a little bit like the previous day. And I'm a person who gets bored really easily. So this is just the perfect environment for me to be challenged every day. So I don't miss any part of it except my training, which helps me run our company and I don't know, keep our staff in mind, I guess.
Yeah, and keeps you, you know, that law training is of critical thinking is
Yeah.
it's very
Absolutely.
helpful. It seems I listen to my kid talk and it's like, whoa, where'd you get that from? It's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
interesting. So now, Evan, you could have opened anywhere, obviously, right? You have a very small restaurant. There's the opportunities abound. What about Columbia City drew you there?
So I've been working on this project for a couple of years now, and so that was part of that was the idea of before I left for Europe was this kind of with a couple of friends, and so we were talking about this, and so there was a few things that I wanted. The first is Columbia City was my first pick for a couple of reasons. So first is that it's a historical district, so that means no developers can pull my lease from underneath me to build condos, which happened to so many of my colleagues and friends over the years. It's you know, the secondary part is that it's old building, there's no tenants above us, so noise complaint issues, things like that, or you know, that sometimes
Have
having
to
the
think
people
about
live
those
above
things,
the
yeah.
restaurant can be a difficult aspect.
The smoke coming out of your hoods, you know, the smells.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so and the last part is we wanted obviously somewhere that had a little bit of foot traffic. Is that we didn't want to be a destination restaurant. You know, I grew up on Whidbey Island, and a lot of my friends and colleagues wanted me to open up on Whidbey. But for me, it was just I didn't want that kind of tourism type business and or just kind of such a destination. I wanted to be part of a small community. Most of my time cooking, I spent growing up in Capitol Hill, and we back when we were all very close to each other. We all knew each other really well. We all hung out, drank, and took care of each other. And so I wanted to redo that in a community that would kind of welcome us. And Columbia City seemed to be the best fit.
Yeah. It's a
a
I
great
think it's a
place.
tight
I mean,
little community.
I've said many times, I live in Madison Valley for 33 years. If I had one place to move in the city, it would be Columbia City. Because I think it's a gorgeous community. It's diversified. You feel when you drive, when you walk through those streets at night, you know, even 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's alive. It's a community. There's a sense of community there, which is, you don't find that in everywhere.
Absolutely. I would say that one of the best things about being in Columbia City is that one, we've gotten to know all of the neighboring businesses, everyone, you know, and we're all looking out for each other. Initially, when we first opened, we kept running people over ice cream because it was so hot when we first opened and things like that. You know, like our neighbors take care of us. We take care of them. We all know each other by name, which I think in a big city environment is less and less common these days.
Sure.
So it's been really nice. And I would like to think that I know pretty much every regular's face and name at this point. My legal training does help. Random facts just live in parts of my brain. But yeah, it's been really nice.
And, you know, it's great on one hand as well is that, you know, we have these wonderful community members who come to the restaurant, support us. But then we also see those community members out and about at it, be it walking our dog in the morning or going to a park or anything like that. We'll bump into these people and see them outside of the restaurant as well and kind of develop this, you know, these friendships and community relationships with people.
Right.
When I first moved to Seattle, I was working all over the place, but in downtown Seattle, I worked at Second and Pine. I got into the market scene. And the market at that time, Pamela, you were working in the market down at De Laurentiis. And the market scene was a little bit like the Columbia City scene. You wouldn't think about it that way because of the tourism. But at the time, there was still a very strong market presence. And the market is its own community. There's a childcare center, senior center, low income, high income, all kinds of people that live there full time. And I really like that. And it's why I'm still part of that down at the north end of the Pike Place Market area. So
It's one of the reasons.
that's how I met her. She was managing the wine shop at De Laurentiis. And that's how I met my wife, who was managing the wine shop down at Pike and Western.
And that's how I met Tom, first chef I met in Seattle in 1987.
But those are, I think that's super important that you kind of want that community around you. And they do take care of you totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is something very heartwarming about living in a place where you know each other, you've got each other's back. There is something nice about that. It gives you extra strength to survive the daily BS.
So if I lived in Columbia City, where would you tell me to buy my meat and my vegetables and my fish?
That's easy.
That's easy. So the Bob's Meat has been third generation butcher. So they have great quality stuff. They have a lot of great stuff in the freezer case as well. Like a lot of the cooking I love to do is offal meats. So they always have stuff stocked. And then vegetables, the same place I go. Columbia City's Farmers Market every Wednesday from 3 to 7, I believe, is the hours. A lot of really fantastic farmers there. A lot of them that I support at the restaurant. And I go every Wednesday. You'll see me there every day at 3, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. For fish, Mutual Fish is probably going to be your best bet up on Rainier, a little bit further up.
Right down the street.
Yeah. they've been
Kevin
there
and Harry.
Yep.
And Harry's sister, Lisa. I've been buying there for 50 years, it feels like.
Yeah, they're great. They're
Yeah.
wonderful. So those are the 3 places I would be buying produce and vegetables and meat.
Nice.
Do you get the farmers to come to your restaurant to deliver now?
Some of them. So when we're doing bulk things, for example, like when I'm doing like 25 pounds of peaches or like 50 pounds of tomatoes, those guys will deliver directly to me.
Right.
Sometimes on their way to the farmer's market, sometimes on a Friday.
Right.
And then basically the farmer's market, I just go and pick up as much as I can carry.
All right. When we come back, we're going to find out more about the actual food on the menu at Off Alley and hear about Evan's cooking style. I'm not sure how you break down the kitchen cooking, if you do any or not.
I don't do any cooking in the kitchen.
Would you recommend walking or calling for a reservation?
Both. We take reservations for between 5 and 5:45 for anyone who needs in a short spot. I know a lot of people get nervous with small spaces. They're worried they're not going to get in. So that's always available. And then 6 p.m. onwards with first come, first served. I like to think that I'm extremely democratic. I man the door myself. And so you have as much of a chance of getting in as everybody else.
All right.
That's very nice.
That's when we come back on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
The website emphasizes the whole animal butchery, so I don't know if you want to highlight that or okay. It's our audience is really curious about going beyond prime rib.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what-
Yeah.
I like to
So is Evan.
Boneless,
I
skinless. It's one of the tragedies of my life is that my daughter's favorite food is boneless, skinless chicken breast.
Wow.
There's 2 tragedies.
She doesn't buy whole chickens
No.
because I was about
No.
my spatchcocking successes, and she says, like, I would never cook a
I
whole
would never,
chicken.
yeah.
Like,
The
what
2
are you
tragedies
talking
are
about?
that,
Yeah.
because I felt like I said everything I needed to say. And then I always told her that religion was the basis of all evil because I went to Catholic school 1 through 12, and I know. And then what did she do for college? She got a comparative religion degree.
I mean, comparative religion is
It's different than being, yes.
You've
I
got to
agree.
study it.
Whatever. Colin Powell said that was the #1 class that he took in college because you have to know who you're talking to and what their beliefs are.
And get in a wine question too, because Magna's got an orientation
Okay.
to wine that I think is important.
It's the Hot Stove Society Show. Chef in the chapeau on the
Monsieur
microphone.
Douglas. It's
And
a pleasure being here and pleasure talking to Evan and Magna from Off Alley here. You guys have such a beautiful passion and such a cool little spot. That's very awesome.
well, let's talk about that. We found out a little bit about Columbia City and your passion for your neighborhood and your neighbors. Tell us about your cooking styles or your wine styles or whatever it is that makes up the restaurant itself.
So for the food side of things, my big focus has always been offal meats. I know I was part of that generation when the St. John cookbook came out years and years ago, and we all got really excited about that. All these
Fergus Henderson.
yeah, Fergus Henderson, St. John in London, and so we all got really excited about offal meat, and it had its kind of day in the sun for maybe a couple of years in the early 2000s, but then it kind of fell out of vogue. But so I always just kept going with it, and so I had the opportunity of working in Paris for a while, which is a very offal centric city. You get a lot of incredible products there. So I got a really deep dive into a lot of different products that are a little bit more difficult to get in the US. But so that's kind of my big focal, is always trying to find these off cuts or unusual cuts, even if it's a situation, if it's a bycatch fish, or if it's, an actual offal, like lamb's tongue or sweetbreads or foie gras or pig's feet, or any of these other things. And then on the vegetable side of things as well, I'm always trying to look for bycrops or like thinnings and things like that, things that normally would just end up in a compost bin. So for me, it's always trying to utilize, basically these underappreciated or undervalued cuts of meat, fish, in specific fish like rockfish, or specific vegetables that just kind of get forgotten about.
And then on the wine side of things, definitely part of, I think, what is Seattle's natural wine scene. But as we like to joke with people, it's just the way that we used to drink when we were in Paris. And I haven't really changed my habits in that way. I serve wine from small producers who do things well with, having thoughtfulness to the product that they're making, very much in keeping with our food philosophy. Nothing is overly manipulated. Nothing is overly overwrought. It's just good wine made by good people, staying away from the mass-produced commercial stuff. And we try and keep the food and the wine and the beverages in general. Our cocktail program is spearheaded by our general manager, Carl Tsipra, whom you might know. And he takes care of...
person there.
Yes, we got a Tsipra person. He and Evan have known each other for like 15 years now, so he was our natural first choice to bring on board. And he takes care of the cocktail side of things, where we work very closely with the kitchen, where the kitchen will give us fruit or juices and things like that they've used and they have no purpose for later. And then we try and turn that into a cocktail that makes sense with the food program. So it's just kind of keeping it tight, keeping it mindful, and not doing something wild that doesn't make sense overall. Just having some
All's got
cohesiveness.
2/3 waste and 1/3 product,
Exactly.
which is common. You see that commonly. So
And that's
It's
one
nice.
thing that's important for us with the food aspect as well, to tie in with the wine side of things, is that so all the wine is low intervention. You're not dumping chemicals into the wine to stabilize the wine, to flavor the wine. And then we have that same philosophy with the food, is I'm not using xanthan gums to make weird emulsions. I'm not using a lot of tricks and chemicals. I'm not using sous vide cooking. I'm just using very traditional style cooking, old world style flavors, and not really using a lot of these modern day techniques and manipulations of food.
It's interesting you call them manipulations, right? Because there's such a argument out there between that word and like, you can manipulate food. You can take this cantaloupe and make juice out of it, right? You're manipulating the food. Sometimes it's better for the product at the end of the day, and sometimes it's not. The process, the whole sous vide process and things like that, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I know you like it much more than I do.
no, I mean,
but-
to me, it's the sous vide thing is more, for me, it's conservation.
Uh-huh.
That's the way I look at sous vide. I don't cook sous vide very much. First of all, I think it's very impractical for restaurants. It's not a practical thing. And also, I like my meat to be roasting the whole time. I'm from the old school.
The smells, the whole
The whole process
yeah.
to me is where I live and where I feel. So I like the intelligence of the sous vide idea. To me is a scientific project. The first time I saw it was in 1979 at the airport in Paris. The old chef from Maxime was the chef at the airport, and I visited the kitchen, and I saw 3,200 plates with a piece of fish, carrots, zucchini. Remember the Nouvelle Cuisine kind of thing, sous vide in a freezer, and I was like, "Holy smokes!" Now that made sense. In case they had a strike or in case they had something, they had to feed people, and I was like, "That's impressive."
That's ridiculous.
But that's ridiculous, yeah.
Favorite cut of offal or of meat to cook, and how do you do it?
Ooh, probably pig's feet is one of my favorite, and so
Whoa.
we'll do it two different ways. The way that kind of is that the success with the customer and will get more people to try something new is going to be like fried trotter cakes. So
Mhm.
basically braising them, picking the bones out, and then mixing a bunch of shallots, herbs, sherry vinegar, spices, salt, and then basically breading them and
Yum.
deep frying them. So
Yeah.
you get that crispy outside and then unctuous
You
interior.
changed your tune,
which
just
everyone
like
likes.
Yeah.
And then the kind of the way that I really love it is kind of also as well, but a little bit more challenging for some people is kind of more of this Spanish style where you braise them in like a rich tomato and pepper sauce.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll pull out some of the bones, and then you'll basically have this whole foot that you then just
Mm.
throw on the flat top and press it down. And then
Mm.
its natural collagen will make this kind of like almost like pot sticker skin underneath. And so you get this really fun, crunchy texture, but then this super gelatinous skin and all that meat as well.
Right.
My favorite way is diced pig's feet, already cooked, of course. The meat diced with the lime, ginger, and butter and stock, reduced down, made into a sauce to go on the fish, like a nice rockfish.
Whoa.
Pan fry. Oh,
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Yeah. The last time I had a pig's foot was at a restaurant in Florence called Cesare, and they did the whole foot. Of course, they did the whole cock's head too. They had the head with the neck, took out the bone and restuffed it and served you the head on the neck.
that's classic.
That's But they did the same. The ped the pork, it's the same where they just kind of you take the skin and you cut it open, spread it out, get all the meat off, the collagen, mix it all back together, and then sew it back up and serve the hoof.
Pied de cochon.
Yeah, see, that's the type of stuff that I would love to have the time to do.
I know it takes forever.
It's,
You have to
it's
have.
forever.
It takes forever. We haven't done it with the head on though. Is that when we were getting whole fresh ducks, we'd obviously get the duck necks, and so what we would do is, once again, not the head, maybe a little too visceral for certain guests. We would take the skin from the duck neck and then grind up a bunch of sausage and then stuff it with roast garlic inside the neck, and then roast that whole basically duck sausage inside the duck skin, which is
Right.
always incredible.
Using the skin as your casing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So delicious. How did you get it crispy? Did you use a torch or could you get it?
Oh, no, in the pan.
In the pan and then basting it, classic French style. So
Okay.
basically, sear it one side, flip it over, pop it in the oven for a little bit, pull it out, butter, aromatics, bay, garlic, and then just baste it until you get a nice, basically foaming, bubbly skin.
Okay, next one is fish. What's your favorite kind of wacky fish dish to make? Well, I say wacky, and I think people listening to our show might say, "Well, that's weird," but for you, it's perfectly normal.
So, I mean, a lot of the fish that I really love working with is, doing raw fish. I came from a Japanese culinary school, worked for John Sundstrom, who has always had a little bit of his Japanese flair as well.
That's why I hired John years ago. He came from a sushi bar.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
great. And so I've always had enjoyed raw fish, and I know that can be weird for some people, but I think one of the ones that my customers love the most, to a point where it's almost a detriment to me, is that we'll take all the fish scraps, the tails that are too tough to eat or anything like that, and then we'll essentially salt them over a span of weeks. And once I get enough of it, I'll basically make salt cod, but in the Spanish style with basically a thickened milk sauce, shove it inside of a piquillo pepper, and then cover it with 3 times tomato sauce mounted with a bunch of squid ink. And so that's something that's going to be going on the menu today, which my customers always really, really love. It's one of my most requested dishes, but I can only make it so many times because I only have so much fish scrap.
Exactly. Squid ink is one of those things, you probably love it. I've never resonated with me.
Well, I think it's one of those subtle chef's product that gets used or abused, I should
Well,
say.
you see it everywhere. It's just for some reason it's
Yeah, and that's a problem. It's not supposed to be everywhere. It's supposed to be in certain things and used a certain way. I mean, it's true. It's a trendy little thing. So
I think it's gone. To me, it's ethnically based. I mean, you see it in Spanish cooking all the
Yeah.
time. You see it all over the place.
I mean,
That's
to me,
not a
it's like
trend.
a risotto with squid ink. If it's done correctly, it's delicious. And with some fresh squid in there, it's.
But you like blood
fabulous.
sauces and things like that too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think there's something about the iron. I don't know what the makeup of squid ink is, but I think there's something about the iron
Kind of like
nature of it.
same
yeah.
thing that people
on
don't
the
like
palate.
liver for.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. What a
Yeah.
treat to have you guys come in. Tell us again where Off Alley is and when people or how people can get a reservation or walk in.
So we're situated right in the heart of the city. Our address is 4903 and a half Rainier Avenue. So it's very Hogwarts. It's
403
hidden
and a
behind-
half.
And a half. You've
It's
got to look out for
important
the
because
half.
if you miss the half, you're not there.
Yeah, you'll go to Rudy's, which will be a completely different experience. We're open Wednesday to Saturday for dinner, 5 p.m. onwards, and then Sunday for lunch, noon to about 4-ish, or when we start running out of food. Every Sunday is a different day, so it's been fun.
Super
And
cool.
the Columbia City for brunch is rampant, man. It's like people are everywhere on the sidewalk waiting for hours to get into every place.
That's true. And if you
Yours and
don't find
everybody else.
spaces at those places, come see us.
Well, it's super fun and it's a nice stroll. There's still some shops there, which is always fun to go shop around. There's that used furniture store down there that I got to get to.
Thank you so much.
Off alley.
The excitement that you've generated in Seattle is refreshing. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. And thanks for getting up to come do the show. All right, when we come back, we have another full hour of excitement right here at the Hot Stove Society on Cairo. It's 97.3 FM.
Bonne chance.
Merci, chef.
Oh,
Pleasure to meet you, Tom.
You too. Nice to see you. You look so familiar to me.
Yeah,
I thought maybe we had worked together.
I haven't worked with you. Might have been on one of some of those events that John.
Oh,
did.
right.
I helped do John's who was it? Post-Settlers Going Away party.
Uh-huh.
So I was working for John from I think like 2009 to 2013.
I was just thinking about to say, but yesterday, where is he? Is he still in Thailand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Joseba, yes. I thought you said John. I was like, what? John is not in Thailand. Yes, Joseba is still in Thailand.
Wow. Amazing. All right. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best.
I want to go to the 5 o'clock with you so we can get a reservation. Experience.
Oh,
the
with
whole
them?
thing. Yeah.
You're
It'll be
gonna
like
go eat
lunch.
waffle?
You want to call them? They'll probably find you a table.
I want to go at 5. Be the first one in and see what her wine program is. Everybody doing okay? Yeah. Excellent.
Who are the two babes in the back?
Bridget made it. Have you?
Surprise! Maids are in the house. It's summer camp. They're back.
Are you on a schedule? You want us to bump you up to the right now?
No, because they are asking the trivia questions today.
Oh. So there's
So you've got the kebabs and then half an hour with them for their restaurant reviews and then trivia.
okay. Did they pick the question?
Did they pick the question?
Oh, Becky wrote them.
Oh wow, she's written a few.
know. I know.
I know.
What are you talking about? Last week was awesome.
What do you mean unfair?
You guys had easy questions in the name.
Oh, and I know how it feels to be me every week.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Every week.
they don't give you no break, Tom. You get no break. See that?
No, they so wanted the four guys, they so wanted to tell her before trivia came up. I said, don't do it, she'll figure a way out. Just surprise her with it at the end. And you should have seen her face. I don't know if you were watching.
That was
online.
hilarious.
Her face went
They-
absolutely scarlet.
She totally became red and stopped moving. Like, what's going on? And it was like, she was scared. I was laughing. I was like, oh my god. Like, you know how we feel every week.
I know. Believe me, we're going to go back to more like yesterday's questions that Carol did all with the O's, like super easy. So everybody's a winner. What, Sean? Yeah, multiple choice. So good.
Coffee cake was a little dry, huh?
I don't think so. Yeah. Bridget just texted me.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Anybody that's willing, we're gonna draw from the hat. Although Sebastian seems very enthusiastic. Yeah, you better hide
is
the
having a
question.
birthday. I think he needs a birthday present.
Yeah.
Earlier you said that the beef wasn't going to be
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
Bridget just texted us the quiche is caramelized onions, kale, thyme, mozzarella, and Parmesan. Yeah. No.
All right, we're all caught up.
Ooh, right on time. Love it.
Is this what I'm going to talk about a little bit?
Could that couple be more beautiful?
Mm.
Jeez.
I talk about my trip on the way back in. What are we doing?
Yes, you bet. And we're back in the Hot Stove Society. I'm Tom Douglas.
And I'm Terry Rotero, the chef in the hat.
One more hour of deliciousness coming right at you. We're going to talk kebabs. We're going to talk Eastside restaurants. We have some locals that are going to do some restaurant reviews, and of course, whoever the fodder is. What do I want? Who's going to get crushed today in trivia?
Oh my God. I don't know, but we have lots of going on. Somebody wrote that question.
You're going to want to stay with us because
yeah, it's going to be.
it's my understanding there's a birthday in the house here at the Hot
There's-
Stove, and that we have fresh meat at the mic.
Fresh meat can be attractive in some ways, but usually it's very scary because they know more than we do. And I'm always like, oh, they're going to cream us again.
Fine. See, I always like to go in
Yes.
positive
I
thinking.
know. I'm
then-
going positive with the a bit of awareness.
So you're going to Ireland? Is that what I understand?
Yes, next year in April, from April 20th to April 28th, a group of 16 of us are going to go to Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Ireland, and I've never been. And my idea of Ireland is it's a beautiful, picturesque country, and you can start to
Turns
hear-
out it's green.
Yes, green. It reminds me a little bit of Seattle by the coast kind of idea, and lots of fjord, lots of beautiful farm on the water. We're gonna have seaweed lunches. We're gonna do seaweed farm. I'm very much excited to go to Dublin, obviously, and see that city that I've heard about for so many years, and Galway, and all those different places. And most importantly, I'm interested in trying the food. And I know you've been to Ireland, but I want to try the food and see how it can't just be potatoes, I mean,
Oh, no, it's not. Lots of seafood.
yeah,
And things have changed. Things over the
That's
last
what I mean
25
is-
years of the whole food culture has changed, like it has
Right.
around the world. So
right.
Yeah,
And so doing a little culinary trips to Ireland, not only visiting the country, learning about the culture and seeing the country, and the history is of course incredible, but also trying new food with a group of people traveling through Ireland. So if you don't know what to do, and if you want to go to Ireland with me, April 20th to the 28th of 2023 is when we're going. All you have to do is go to 58starstravel.com and find out more information.
58starstravel.com.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Ireland, I traveled with a group of guys that like to golf, and we had 4 helicopters land at the golf club in Scotland, and we took the helicopters and landed on the fairway at the golf club in Ireland.
Oh my God.
And the neighbors were all looking out their front windows. They thought that
President.
no, I don't know what they thought, but we all just got out with our golf bags, played around the golf, and got back in the helicopters and went back to Scotland.
That's
That
swanky.
was the last time I was in Ireland. Okay, kebabs. Let's talk kebabs.
Kebabs.
Pamela, you love a good kebab.
So much.
I love our kebabs downstairs at Lola.
I hope so because they're such a popular
They're
seller.
very
Yeah,
popular.
but on those kebabs, the meat
Tiny.
is cut tiny
Tiny.
and it's cut evenly so that it very much is a quick hit, quick fire, and cooks all the way through quickly.
And I think
that's
you
an
nailed it on
important tip.
I think you nailed it there. It's extremely important for that. Then you know how to cut the meat or have somebody cut the
kebabs.
meat who knows.
Yeah.
Because if you don't cut the meat correctly, you're going to have this chewy piece of meat on your teeth.
Yeah, and some is rare, some is well
Yeah,
done, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. So I'm not a big fan of the big chunky kebabs that you see in the grocery stores, kind of pre-made for you. And I hate when they have like a tomato on there and a big chunk of beef.
Right.
Because what
Exactly.
happens? By the time the beef is cooked, the tomato has fallen
Falling
off.
off your
and they're all-
skewer.
and an onion slice has fallen off. And it's
Don't
just,
be afraid to separate and reunite.
Yes.
You
So,
know,
so what are you saying? So, like, if you
I'm
have a
saying
chicken kebab,
Yeah.
you can also have a shiitake kebab,
Correct.
and then you serve them together is on the plate.
At the end, you serve them on the plate. Exactly.
Because they
Together.
all have different cooking times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's a mushroom, mushrooms are round. Putting on the grill is a pain in the neck. Use two skewers. Don't be afraid to use two of them, so the mushroom doesn't move around. Your skewer is easier to grab. You have to make it so that you can cook it. It's not just something pretty you put on a stick and then whatever you want. I mean, often you see that combination bell pepper, zucchini, tomato. I'm like, none of these cook exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
You put them on the grill, they all come out differently. So, like you said, you have one that's raw and the other one that's puree.
Mm-hmm.
I've been blanching my onions and my
I thought you said you were blanching your kebabs.
no, just the harder vegetables
Yeah.
before I assemble the kebab because I was sick of raw onions.
Uh-huh.
And if you get your protein small enough, the vegetables are raw when you're done.
Right. But I think to go back to the meat part, it's extremely important to cut the meat correctly so then you have a tender piece of meat and not too big. Kebab don't have to be like giant cubes of chicken or meat or whatever, because the bigger you make it, the longer it takes to cook, the less chance you have to cook it properly, and the more chance you have to dry it up. So if you don't make it too big, it cooks. And my philosophy is also marination is not, it's a great process to something you're going to cure because it pre-marinates, pre-seasons, and pre-cook. It starts the process of breaking down the meat. So when you put it on the grill, all you need is a little char, especially if you're doing lamb, let's say leg of lamb or something like this. Don't be afraid to pre-marinate overnight in a nice little wet marinade or something like that.
Just not something acidic.
Right. Right. Just
Because the
spices.
acid will start to eat the meat and it'll get grainy when
Right.
you go to cook it. Yeah.
Well, it depends on how long you're going to marinate too. If
Well, you
you're
said
gonna,
overnight, so I'm just saying, just make sure it's not
Correct.
acidic. Yeah.
but just, you still put a little harissa in there.
Yeah, but not wine.
I know.
So the other trick on kebabs is often they're done on the little bamboo skewers.
Right.
So I like to move, if you think about the bamboo skewer, let's say a 6-inch skewer, I leave my meat on the end of the skewer all the way to the end
Ready to slide
for the
off.
4 inches. No, because I'm just using the small cuts, like we're talking less than an inch size cube,
Correct.
3/4 to a 1/2 inch size cube. And then I put a piece of foil lined on my grill so that the foil is underneath what you hold the skewer with, right?
So you can grab the skewer.
Well, so it doesn't burn up.
Right.
Yeah. Why have a kebab when the skewer is completely gone?
I have those Moroccan skewers.
The metal ones.
Yeah, the metal one, long one. So those are really practical. They're not expensive to buy. You buy a dozen and you have them with a wood handle. You keep those off the grill and the meat is still cooking on the grill.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you've ever been to a Brazilian restaurant, the Brazilian kind of meat steakhouses that everything's on a kebab and then they bring it to your table and they literally slice off the kebab.
Yeah.
It's very similar to what is a doner kebab, right?
Right.
The doner kebab is the one with the meat kind of in the round that turns on a vertical roaster. And then you slice it off for a Euro sandwich or something. But that's the same idea with
Right.
those Brazilian steakhouses. Is they take that chunk of beef right back to the kitchen, put it right back over the coals, and I think it's Old Hickory that makes a commercial size one that takes about 24 kebabs, and so they just keep rotating what they bring out to the dining room and slice it right at your table.
all you need at the end is a handsome guy going with the salt.
A handsome
Yes,
Brazilian.
please.
Handsome Brazilian guy going, taking the sea salt and go, stop.
Yeah, I always think it's funny those kind of restaurants. Generally, I'm speaking in generalities, but the compliment to the kebab service is there's a salad bar,
Right.
is with cold French fries and cold crappy salads, and then you.
Which is too bad.
Up next, we have some favorites here at the Hot Stove Society, and they're going to tell us the hot new spots, including some pizzeria I heard about over in Totem Lake, the village of Totem
No, I
Lake.
told them they couldn't talk about that one.
Oh, did you? Becky and Peggy are here to give us the rundown on what's going on the east side. It's Hot Stove Society Radio on Cairo 97.3 FM.
Come on up, beautiful.
Come on up.
ladies.
To the east side, with the air.
Yeah, I think they're gonna need it. But they can stay here. Yeah. This is such a treat. We never talk about the East Side.
You should play the music from CNN, and then we go, hello, we have our correspondent live from the East Side.
Correspondence from the East Side.
You can
Right.
stand or
Oh,
sit
no,
down,
so
whatever's
that's right.
comfortable.
We both talk at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, if
I
you're on
can
different
have
mics.
you on separate
Oh,
mics, that
hello,
works.
I got it.
That way you can.
Hello.
Hello.
That's what you say when in
My
front of
name's
the mic.
Becky, yours isn't.
Yeah.
Where's my favorite
Kinda close
sister,
to the
Trina?
mic.
Oh, I asked
You
her.
need to-
And
And-
she gut
She
wrenched
can't
laughed and
resist
said,
me.
hell no.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not mature enough for that yet.
So get as close as possible to the
Like
mic.
this?
Yeah.
It's not good for my posture.
Oh, sorry, it's 5 minutes. I like that. It's not good for my posture.
You can tell that we have met these women before.
Outside on the street when they were coming out of an Uber.
Before we had the cooking school, we used to do a summer camp over in our catering facility, the Palace Ballroom, and we were lucky enough to have them 10 some years, and a deep friendship has been formed.
Yes.
Amy, are you coming in for the Peggy?
Amy's son!
Hit parade.
Amy the gem.
And you remember Sean?
I do remember Sean.
Yeah.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm
doing well, how are you?
Or do you want to start at the north, towards the Bothell, Totem Lake end, and then work
That's
our way
pretty
down
much,
to
that's kind of what we're doing.
work
but-
our way down to
yeah, but we're
Victoria
not-
or Renton?
Nope, we're just sticking because there's so many restaurants. We're just sticking with, do you want to do your part on that?
So we decided to
Okay,
limit.
we're gonna put this on the show then.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to explain why it is.
They,
what
they
the-
were thoughtful about it.
Okay, good. So I just didn't know if we were just or if we're gonna.
No.
And we're doing our favorites, not necessarily new.
Okay.
Definitely.
It was not a foreshadow.
What was that?
I'm laughing because
You'll find out.
And we're back. It's the Hot Stove Society Show. It's Cairo Radio. It's Tom and Terry, the chef and the chef. Oh, you got a mouthful. What do you got going on?
I'm eating that plum cake.
The plum cake.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so delicious.
Plums, so Santa Rosa plums.
So delicious.
Becky's got a magic touch with those. We have invited, we're just going to call you Becky and Peggy because we don't want people to know your last name because they might stalk you.
Right.
You know, we have crazy people that listen to this show. So we met Becky and Peggy.
2008.
Yeah, I was going to say 15 years ago. So
Mhm.
it's, yeah, a long time ago at one of our camps over at the Hot Stove, over at the Palace Ballroom, and have been friends ever since and been good fans here of the Hot Stove Society. But you feel like sometimes I get the notion that you feel like we're lacking in coverage when we talk about restaurants.
It's not an imagination. I think it's true.
Okay, and so you have decided to take it upon yourselves to become our correspondents on the east side of Lake Washington. Is that true?
True.
It's true.
Right, from the east side.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to hear all the way from, say, Bothell, all the way down to Mercer Island. Is that the east side?
No.
No, we didn't make it.
Bellevue.
Hold on.
How'd you get to
let
where-
them say it.
How'd you get to where you're going?
Well, we decided to really limit the scope because the east side is pretty vast. So Becky is going to start by talking about the restaurants in Kirkland, and then I'll talk about Bellevue. And we also decided if a restaurant has roots in Seattle, like a Carmine's Cantonetta, Monsoon, we're not really going to talk about those restaurants today, although they have such a great presence on the east side. We're trying to focus on just Kirkland and Bellevue based restaurants and not large chains.
Uh-huh. So in other words, the Serious Pie Totem Lake didn't make the cut.
Well,
Well,
that
we'll
is-
see.
I
No,
can
that's,
start.
that's all right. You want to get started?
Yeah, I would love to
Okay.
start with thank you, Pamela, for inviting us. It's really fun for us to be on this side. You know, when we first met you back in 2008, that's how we connected.
Mhm.
And so you sparked our passion for our mutual passion for all learning about all things food and wine. So we're really excited to be here.
Good.
I
And
think-
you have taken it upon yourself to write some of our quizzes
I've had a lot
for
of fun.
the Friday
Yeah.
morning quiz show. Yeah.
It started out as a little project to help Pam, and it just has been so fun. It's
Ah.
like I you wake up Sunday morning and just want to go write a quiz
It's
instead
like
of
doing the crossword puzzle, except you write a quiz.
You
for
know,
that-
on
for
Sunday morning, I
trivia.
do the New York Times puzzle.
yeah.
I'm
well,
a New York Times quiz, I should say.
well, I just get a little sad sometimes when I see the front page, so I
Yeah.
just put that away. It's my little reprieve.
All right.
Making games. So it's fun for us to be on this side. And the first restaurant, so Peggy really set that up well that we're not going to talk about Seattle roots, but I have to break the rules because we've been begging you and your team to come over to the East Side forever.
Yeah.
And you finally crossed the bridge.
Yeah, we
so
finally did.
we're super
It
excited.
only took me an hour and 10 minutes to get there the other day. That was super fun.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
God.
So Serious Pie in the new Totem Lake Village is awesome. We took, my sister and I took our family from Switzerland there the other day, and it was a great way to share pizzas and beautiful salads outside.
Uh-huh.
That was really nice.
So Totem is like a big food mall.
It is.
Do you have a favorite in that building? In that?
Serious Pie?
Oh, come on. Outside of Serious Pie.
No,
You don't have a favorite
no,
yet over
Serious
there?
Pie.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay, whatever.
Well, this is not East Side, but I know isn't Wasif opening up
Yeah, it's open.
It is okay,
Yeah.
like a street food version of
Mhm.
Mam
Mom
Noon.
Noon, yeah.
Yep, but we're not talking Seattle. Sorry. Okay, so that's our first really exciting one. The next three are not new. They've been around for a long time. They're more fine dining and white linen tablecloth. And the first would be Cafe Juanita. It's just a really fabulous place for a special occasion. Northern Italian inspired. Holly Smith who you know is the chef owner.
Yep.
Who I believe started her Seattle career with you at Dahlia.
Yeah, she
Is
was
that
a
right?
sous chef for us at Dahlia, late
With
80s
Jonathan.
with Jonathan Sundstrom. Yeah.
Oh wow!
They were
And
same,
then
same time sous chef.
interesting.
And Philip Mahalski, who has Nell's over
Yeah.
there by Green Lake.
Oh, wonderful.
They were all
Yeah.
there at the same time.
And then she opened up Cafe Juanita in 2000, and she also came to one of our summer camps, did a demo, and then we all had a special gathering for
Mhm.
dinner at Cafe Juanita. So that's just
It is a
Special
very
occasion.
awesome restaurant.
And it's worth the wait. I mean, if you have
Yeah.
to get in or if it takes 3 hours to have dinner, it's worth it.
Yeah.
If you're looking for that special evening, special dinner, great food, great service, great everything, definitely a place to
And
go.
Holly's good people.
always
Yeah.
good people. Yep, that's
Very
so
good.
people are important. And then the next one, it's Italian as well, but it's much more kind of everyday, and that would be Restaurant Paradisio
Mhm.
in
Oh, yeah.
Kirkland Park Lane. People
Never eaten there.
You never. It's a classic. It's consistent. I think it's probably the first. I think the owner it's Sardinian roots, and he's still there.
Mhm.
And when we moved, my husband and I moved to Kirkland about 30 years ago. That was probably our first nice dining experience.
And you can walk from your house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good point. Again, the people are so nice. I love it. I don't think they've changed their menu in 30 years, but they don't really have to
Right.
because it's
Yeah, that's what
it's-
you're going there for. You're going for those classics. Yeah.
Yep. That's great. And then we've been in Italy. Now we're going to go to France. Favorite restaurant on the water is Le Grand American Bistro.
I'm with you
It's-
100%.
That
Just-
Ted First restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there probably 10 times now, which is my most
Wow.
visited
Yeah.
East Side
That's shocking,
restaurant.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, it's
My wife does the flower there, so
oh, she
I
does.
yes.
I will comment on them next time.
No, it's okay. But I've been there, and I'd never been before. Kathy started in the flower there, and with this started going there. It's a fabulous. There is not many. Sadly enough, in our part of the world, there is not many good restaurants on the water
Mhm.
that you can go to for dinner.
And
It's
the,
sad.
The views are just gorgeous. Quintessential Northwest. You're looking over Kirkland Marina. You're looking at the lake, Seattle, and then the Olympics.
A couple of weeks ago, a couple of friends took us from Lake Union in their boat. We crossed the lake and we went to eat at Le Grand, and that was like,
You could get used to that.
this
huh?
is when I
Yep.
think quite essential Seattle trick.
Yep.
Well,
That's
there is Seattle roots there. I don't know if you know, but Ted and Peter Lewis were the original
Campagne.
openers of Campagna.
Yeah.
And before that, Ted was my first sous chef at Cafe
Oh
Sport.
wow!
Isn't that weird?
That is.
Didn't he
small
work
world.
And he
with
lasted about 6 weeks.
Schwartz Brothers too?
He was a much better cook than I ever was.
Didn't Ted work with Schwartz Brothers? No, who did he work for? after
I
that?
think for a little while, it's consulting, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Peggy and I have enjoyed hour there many times, and my favorite is oysters, bubbles, and the best French fries on the East Side. Or frites, excusez-moi.
Frites.
And Becky
Perfect.
rides her bike there. She's very healthy that way.
Got to burn it off.
We've been known to have happy hour occasionally, haven't we, Becky?
All right, that's Kirkland.
And so my favorite sushi on the East Side is in Kirkland, and it's a small joint called Kwame Sushi Bar and Sake House, and it's right on Kirkland Avenue. It's excellent quality, great prices, and the chef owner is often there making the sushi. So
Perfect.
I don't recall his name, but he's wonderful. And then my favorite place for catering is Lynn's Bistro. She's
Oh,
got
yeah.
she has a nice little restaurant
She's
on
been there
85th.
forever.
But her quality is so good. She's so kind. I don't think she charges enough.
No.
And every time I've worked with her, guests have wanted her name.
Right.
And she does an excellent crab cake.
Good.
I'm sure she got the recipe from your book. Yeah. Anyway, so Lynn's Bistro, big plug. And then a perfect place for takeout, if you just want to go grab something and walk across the street, go down to the marina and have a picnic, is Santorini Grill. They have great gyros and all things Greek.
Where is it?
It's on the main central, right where the light is, isn't
Right
it?
before Sur La Table.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's right where
yeah.
the traffic light is there
That's
on
right.
Central Avenue.
And Stavros has been there for 30 years,
Right.
and he disappoints a lot of people between Thanksgiving and Christmas when he goes back to Santorini to see his family. So
Boy,
That's
what a
always-
horrible vacation that is.
terrible.
Santorini in
Terrible.
December.
Ugh.
So
And then my favorite, saving this hidden gem for last, I stumbled upon it last week when we had out of town friends and family that wanted to go to see the new Google campus.
mhm.
And there's a cool park there. And it's right on the Kirkland Cross Corridor Trail, which used to be a railway that they turned into a pedestrian and bike trail.
Yeah.
I think it runs 42 miles from
that's the one that was being fought in the courts for about 25 years,
Yes,
isn't it? Yeah.
yes. And Google and City of Kirkland has done a beautiful job there. So Chainline Brewing Company, who's a local Kirkland brewery, has a tap room at the new Kirkland Urban. And then they took this darling caboose and put it right off the trail. And they sell ice cream, beer, all kinds of sandwiches and that kind of stuff. Nice picnic tables, and it's right on the trail. So we parked at Met Market and we walked north a little bit, right through the Google campus. And it's one of my favorite features is there's these blueberry bushes that are about 2-3 feet tall. And they're all edible. So you're walking along, feeling healthy and eating blueberries.
Ah,
So it's just cool. And then right next door is this, I have to see where it is. It's this beautiful vegetable and fruit garden that you can walk through. And it's run by a Seattle Urban Farm Company who will then donate all its harvest to HopeLink. So that whole area is just
Wow.
kind of a special little place.
Community
So this is
oriented,
all
yeah.
behind the Google
It's
campus?
in between. So the trail goes right between Google campuses.
Right.
The buildings are they're not very tall.
Right.
So it's
I've been there before.
it's
Google
worth
campus.
it's worth the trek.
You know, first apartment in my life. When I left home, I was 18, and I slept on somebody's couch for a month, and then I was looking for an apartment. The first apartment in my life was in Kirkland, Washington, the Maple Leaf Apartments. And you know, in Kirkland, how you're going along the water, and you can take that road. It kind of bends up, and it goes
Yeah.
up to the Met Market up there.
68.
It was right on that road before, and it was
It's
long torn
gone,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, but somebody put a mansion there, probably you.
No.
But yeah, so I have some Kirkland roots.
Yes.
Don't
Yep.
don't even think that I don't.
That's wonderful.
I had a leopard skin sofa, like velour. Chicks dug it.
It was on
I
the
bet.
sidewalk before you had it.
It
That's good.
actually was.
Somebody was trying to get rid of it.
That's great. Well, that ends my Kirkland piece.
Okay, good. Thank you, Becky Guzack. Oh, I'm not supposed to use your last
Oh
name.
well.
No stalkers. Peggy,
Yes.
when we come back, you're going to take us from the Kirkland borderline with Bellevue and through the Bellevue scene. All right?
Yes.
On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Awesome.
Fun.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, the tech companies take the responsibility of their environment very seriously. Like Jackie and I just watched the newer part of the Amazon campus, and they put in all these old growth tree roots and stuff. And it's just landscape everything.
So beautiful.
I'm glad you guys blew it.
Well, I had to do some research after we walked through that garden. That was we were with little kids too, and they were just, oh, this is what a bell pepper looks like before it's red. You know, it's really cool. And I did a research because I thought maybe that food went to Google Campus or for there, and that to find out that they're giving to HopeLink is pretty special.
That's nice.
Yeah. And that it's run by professionals, so it's just
It's stuff grows.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks
I would say some of that stuff is forced on people, right? 1% for the arts, and some of that
Mhm.
stuff is part of the
it should be.
when
gotta
they
mitigate.
apply for permits. Well, suggested richly, yes.
Yes.
And the other part about that, in my opinion, is that while that's all well and good, they also try to keep everyone in their buildings.
Right.
And so they give away free breakfast, free lunch,
Oh,
free
yeah.
dinners, free cocktails, which isn't very good for the neighborhood.
Well,
From that perspective, Amazon is much better, but they don't do that. But Facebook and Google and a lot of Yeah. Yes. Force them outside. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just saying, you were talking about Google, and that's
And they can
difference in
they can
philosophy.
walk. They can they can walk on that trail to Kirkland Urban.
But it's a very cool campus what they have at Google there because it's very, it's very integrated.
Tableau's over there too, right? Yeah.
It's integrated
I don't
into
know.
the neighborhood. I mean, it's like you don't even see it a block away. Don't even unless you know it's there. You don't even know it's there. It's cool.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready? We're going to continue our East Side travels here in the Hot Stove Society kitchen. Chef in the Chapeau. Did you learn anything in the last segment?
I learned a lot. That little sushi place. I'm gonna look for it because I didn't know whether it was there.
Yeah.
And also the train caboose in the Google next to the Google campus there.
Chain line station.
Chain line station. I gotta remember that name.
Okay, Peggy, it's your turn, and you have to stay up tight to the mic if you would. And you're going to take us from what separates Kirkland? Is it Northrop Way? Is it from Bellevue? Is that probably a good
Yes,
separator?
Just about where 520 runs.
Yeah, 520.
Yeah. Yeah, because one of my favorite Chinese restaurants is in that behind the old tile store up there in that strip mall on Northrop Way called King something. I
Yeah,
wanna say.
that's one of my favorite too.
Anyway, so there you go. Peggy, tell us about some places that I think our criteria is that you love, that have East Side roots rather than Seattle guys that have transplanted, and that not necessarily new, but just a family favorite.
Exactly. And
So-
so I'm going to start with the restaurant that Becky and I went to for happy hour this week, because this is all based on our friendship.
You guys
that
have a lot of happiness going on.
We do.
We
That
had to research.
Yeah.
our friendship
Don't
started
you
right
love that
here
R&D stuff?
with the
Yeah.
Tom Douglas team, and
Uh-huh.
we're so grateful for that. So we went to Bees on Main
Oh, yeah.
for happy hour this week, which opened in '98. So it's a Bellevue institution, and Joe Velarde is sort of the face of Bees on Main.
Mhm.
They have just a really refined menu, and they're really a big part of the community. Joe knows the people who are coming in, and I think he's recently sold the restaurant, but it
Yep.
will carry on.
To Bobby Moore. Did you know about this?
Oh yeah, I didn't know that Bobby bought it, but yeah,
Yeah,
And,
Bobby
and
bought
the landlord apparently as well.
Yeah.
But they have great outdoor seating. The service is fantastic, and just really consistent.
It's a classic on Main Street for sure.
Classic, yes.
And some of the times it's the jobs you don't get, because Joe was applying for work with me at Cafe Sport, I want to say, and it didn't work out at that time. And then he went and he opened that restaurant. So no, it couldn't have been Cafe Sport. It must have been Dahlia or
Yeah,
Anna's,
Dahlia.
Yeah.
Joe
But
and I,
so we went and opened Beats on Main. So there
Joe
you go.
and I both work in the same restaurant on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles on Sunset, yeah, and not at the same time, but a different time. But and both of us have great memories of that.
Yeah.
How funky that restaurant was.
And then I'd like to also just jump. So Joe actually worked with Chris Peterson, who owns Bake's Place. And Bake's Place has its roots really in live music, but their business model has changed over the years. They have a really big outdoor patio and a big indoor space. So it's fairly easy on a really busy night to still get a table there. They have the capacity.
How do you spell it? What are you saying?
Bakes, Bake.
Oh, okay.
So his
I just
business-
don't know it, I guess.
Yeah, his business partner, his last name was Baker, so
Ah.
that's how they ended up with Bake's Place. And they're doing more events now, but they're really they want to be the local favorite, the local restaurant, and they have really great food. Chris is usually there to greet you. They're now getting an influx of a lot of new Bellevue residents with the light rail station going in, and that they're on Fourth or Southeast Second, Northeast
Okay.
Second. Sorry, they're on Northeast Second and
Yeah.
108th, and I really enjoy their salads. They have great salads, and they do.
So
as
they're
a-
in that condo unit there
I'm not really
on
sure.
Northeast 4th.
I don't know if it's a condo unit.
Oh,
But it's
apartments
it's
or-
just
yeah.
right on the corner there.
Okay, I think I
Um,
know where you're talking about.
there's-
Right by the poke place.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's parking underneath. It's super easy to get there.
Oh
and
my God, that East Side thing and parking. It's
I know.
unbelievable.
It's so easy.
I know. Everyone says that when they come to Serious Pie. I told them it's like, dude, you got parking. First time in my life in
Yeah.
40 years.
And they do still have live music. I'll be there next month. They have a Steely Dan cover band that's going to be playing, and it's just super fun. They have this huge live, screen.
All right, I'm going to
and
check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
they do a lot of sports events too? They have huge screens. And
They do. I haven't been there for a sports event, but I just really enjoy it. And then I'd also like to mention Bellevue Brewing that just moved into the Spring District. They have a really beautiful new facility there with a great big outdoor space. And Kirkland Urban, or it's similar to Kirkland Urban, but the Spring District will be a hub for light rail. You can also drive there, bike. You can take the bus, so it's transit centered, and their Meta has their offices there. But Bellevue Brewing has a huge bar. They have a lot of indoor seating. Their menu is taco heavy. They have some great tacos and fresh salads. Really, really great service. And so I was there earlier this week, and I'm going back again this afternoon.
Nice.
It's just super, it's super
tough
fun.
life.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful space, and I really like to see that the intentional community that's taking over that industrial space, and that there's been so much planning to make it into a new gem in Bellevue.
Mhm.
Really, it's fun to see it coming alive.
What's the address?
Spring District. There's a whole bunch
Right.
of new construction over there, and it's on that kind of angled road from Northeast 8th all the way over to 124th or so. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If I don't know the specific address for Bellevue
Right,
Brewing,
right.
but it's super.
What was the restaurant on the lake that used to be there?
Oh, crab
Crab-
something.
Clinker
No.
Dagger Bickerstaff and
Oh,
Pets
that's
Public
right.
House. Remember that on the lake?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a special occasion in the day.
it was in the day.
And then I'll give a couple of quick mentions. I'd like to mention the Lake House, which is in Lincoln Square South.
Sure.
It's seasonal fresh menu that changes every day. It happens to be Becky's husband Chris's favorite restaurant. So
He claims it's the best on the east side.
Nice.
yes,
Jason.
my
Yeah.
kids love to go there. They have a seasonal corn soup that is to die for. I love it as well. And I think the decor is really kind of
Uh-huh.
sweet too.
I haven't been there since it opened. Jason Wilson originally was the chef there, and he's not there anymore.
No, he's still there.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah. He's back with his wife.
Ah,
And
he
then
was, yeah, he's still at the lake house.
I'd also like to mention 520 Bar and Grill.
that's a locals hangout there on Main Street, and they opened in Lincoln Center too, I think.
They
Yep.
did. They opened Central. Becky and I've been known to have happy hour there as well in both places. Happy hour theme here.
That's why at Edda's we call it Crabby Hour,
Crabby hour.
right?
I like that. But I frequent it. They have also great outdoor seating, and it is like the West Bellevue Cheers. It's a fun place to go. And then I'd like to just kind of mention some of the tried and true Bellevue institutions, like Chase's Pancake Corral for breakfast right on Bellevue Way. The Pump House is a great place to just you'll see lots of locals. It's just pub fare. And then my new favorite, which a lot of people don't know about, but it's been there since 1968, is Lil John's.
Little John's in the parking lot of the. I was going to mention it if you didn't. So
Yeah, it's
yeah, in the parking lot of the Toyota dealership there or
Exactly.
something. Yeah.
So I was there yesterday, and it's just, honestly, the bartender, Brian, who's there, has been there. He wouldn't tell me how long, but over 35 years.
Uh-huh.
And the waitress, Nan's, been there for 35 years. They know all the customers in there. Oh, this drink's for Susie over in the corner. They're known for their salt and pepper wings and huge cinnamon rolls.
Mhm.
But it's just a really great.
What was the name
local
of that
spot.
Austrian chef? I think he was Austrian, who had a small restaurant in the mall there.
I don't know.
Oh, I love
My first job in Bellevue in this area 45 years ago now was at Benjamin's in Bellevue.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Was on top of the Seattle Trust Tower. So that's a million years ago. And then first place I ever applied for a job is still open. Can you figure out what that is? It's on
Daniels.
no. It's probably in the Kirkland side of things. It is definitely in the Kirkland side of things on the of 520.
Anthony's.
The Foghorn.
The Foghorn.
Oh wow.
It's now called the Beach House.
Yeah. Remember the Foghorn?
Yes.
Yes. That's
Yes.
was first place I ever applied for work.
It
Nice
was near your
view, but-
apartment, right? With the couch.
Yeah, exactly. I could walk there. Instead, I ended up getting a job on Bainbridge Island. So I took the bus from Kirkland to downtown onto the ferry, took the ferry to
Oh, my.
Bainbridge. How stupid is that?
That's commitment.
Yeah. So fun.
I guess
So
the
fun.
only place I didn't mention, which I'll just mention quickly, is Ascend,
Oh, yeah.
which is on the 31st floor of Lincoln Square.
41st.
Oh, 41st, excuse me, floor. Lincoln Square, and it has just amazing views. It's
Yeah.
just, if you just don't sit at the bar if you want to look at the views, because you won't be facing the views. But it's, prime steak and sushi and really delicious food.
That's a place that I just thought they're going to lose a bundle up there, and they're
Because
pretty,
it's so large. I
yeah,
thought that too.
huge.
But they're packed.
They're busy all the time, and they also own a bunch of Famous Dave's barbecue joints, and they bought they have Stanford's up there at Northgate, and they've bought
Uh-oh.
they're a pretty big restaurant group now.
We cheated a little
But they
bit.
started at Ascend. No, just
Yeah.
kidding. No, super fun. Thank you so much.
It was a lot of fun to do the research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you end up having time to write the quiz and do the research for all those happy hours? Maybe.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I can see them both sitting at the bar going, yeah, I got a question.
Okay, Peggy and Becky are going to come right back for our Food for Thought Tasty Trivia Challenge, for which I'm not sure who our third player is. Maybe Birthday Boy out there in the audience. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. Are you going to come up? We've built you up now. You can't turn us down.
We built you up. We built you up.
You can bring your friend too if you need help.
We have a birthday boy.
He gets a phone a friend though, right?
He gets what?
He gets a phone a friend.
Absolutely. Come on over. The seat of honor.
Oh, I forgot to ask you your name.
She can come up and help you.
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
If you're scared, have her come up and
I'm
help.
always scared.
He's
though.
not scared.
I have an emergency.
Okay. No, go for it.
Let's do it now.
So I have a 35-pound pig.
It's a small pig.
It's a suckling pig.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, a suckling pig is about 9 pounds. So
Okay.
this is, you got to think a little bit differently about this. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go pick it up tomorrow and then roast it on Sunday.
Roasted on what?
On a bunch of cinder blocks. I'm gonna go pick up.
And put a grate?
But a great.
Uh-huh. So you're going to split it down the middle?
Well,
From
that's what it's gonna be a game time decision how I do it specifically. But depending on how big it is, I mean, the butcher said it's already like cleaned and everything.
Butterflied?
And it's already kind of naturally butterflied.
Uh-huh.
So I may lay it out just on its, stomach, or
Right,
what would have
right.
been its stomach, and then just low and slow.
Are you gonna rub? What are you gonna do?
Well, it's all if time allows, but I'm gonna try to brine it overnight, and it all depends on if I can get I was gonna ask you, how do I get a brine bag for a pig this big?
Just use a garbage bag.
Garbage bag, industrial black garbage bag.
Yeah, but just double it up so
Yeah.
the pig nails don't
There's
go
not like some chemicals in the garbage bag or just any.
You think about what you're putting it over. You got more chemicals in the briquettes than you have anyplace else.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well,
that's
there's
just
that.
my
Would you
thought.
brine it?
Well, it depends on what I'm serving with it.
I'm making like pulled pork tacos.
Oh, so Mexican style. So I wouldn't brine it.
I wouldn't brine it either. Not if you're doing tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that saves a step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a ton
I
of
would do
salt,
dry
ton of
rubs.
pepper.
Well, you might think about wrapping it in banana leaves or something like that. If you're going, because with tacos, you're going to want to pull the meat, so it needs to be super tender. So you might think about wrapping it in banana leaves, just doing it low and slow, and then for the last hour and a half, turning it over skin side on the briquette
Crisp that skin.
and try and get your skin a little.
And to
crispy.
score the skin.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can score it so that you score the thighs and things like that, so that it's about the same thickness as everything else.
Okay.
And one thing I would use pimenton, smoked pimenton, like Spanish.
Okay.
It's a good thing to put as a rub.
Will you write that down?
But do you know what I'm talking about?
She's videoing it right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Smoked pimenton, so you get a little smokiness, chili, and
Oh,
it's not
You know,
hot.
we charge for our video time.
It's not hot and spicy. Little salt, little pepper, maybe some chopped thyme, or maybe whole leaves of thyme branches put in there.
I
And
need
then
to
wrap
find
that,
a stick I can brush it with.
Yeah.
Wrap
that in banana leaves. That's a great idea.
Awesome. Thank you.
What about the time frame? When should he make this fire?
Well, what time do you want to have dinner?
So I'm gonna build the smoker Saturday, and then Sunday I was thinking of starting at maybe 9, 10 a.m. and to eat around 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's about right.
because it looks like it doesn't take as long as a brisket would.
Well, it doesn't cook like brisket.
Right. So
Brisket's a different muscle. So-
5-6 hours is what I'm seeing online.
Well, if you're down to 225, 250 with a banana leaves, it could take all day.
Yeah,
it
it
could
could
take 8
take
hours.
longer than that.
Oh,
You
great.
can you can take it as long as you want to take it. So the faster you want it, the higher you build the fire.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
The thing is, if you want to get any crispiness on the skin, you got to give it not only the time on the skin side, but you also have to give it the eyeballs. You got to be right on it. You might have to yank if your fire goes crazy. You might have to yank it. Right? There's a lot of fat there. So
Wow.
be like putting
It's
meat
gonna
on
want
the
to
grill.
burn.
Awesome.
Okay, you ready?
I'm excited for you.
Thank
What
you.
happened to our
I'll send
pal
you
Peggy?
pictures.
This is all you. All right. We're back. It's time for Food for Thought Tasty Trivia, brought to you by the delicious Rub with Love Spice Rubs, made by yours truly in our Ballard warehouse. They are so tasty. I'm looking for Pam's words
And
on.
Sebastian is going to use some on his pig for tomorrow. He's going to roast
We
the
have
pig.
grown to 20 different varieties so that we can help you doll up just about any dish. Our rubs and sauces and mustards are available at Bartell's, Met Markets, Town and Country Markets. I mean, virtually all over the place, all over the country. 5,000 different retail outlets around the country. So enjoy the treasure hunt to try and find them, or just go online and buy them online. They are all there. Pamela or Becky, since you're taking over the mic on the producer side here and you wrote the quiz, how do people play our game? And who's going to win our prize today?
You probably know that already.
Well, I know Pamela likes big things, and I've
Yeah, she
paid
does.
attention a little bit.
Yeah.
So each of you will get 5 questions, and they're all going to be themed to Labor Day holiday or back to school. So we'll see who's going to rule and who's going to get schooled.
All right.
And the winner gets what, Pam?
Smoked paprika.
Oh.
Oh,
I
so
like
we have
the
we have a
Kirkland.
listener guest. Sebastian, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Big fans.
Happy
But
birthday.
happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Great way
How
to
do we say it in French? Bon compléant? No, it's
Joyeux
Italian.
anniversaire.
Merci beaucoup.
All right.
Vous en prie. All right, Becky.
All right, you going first?
Yep.
All right, Terry. Here we go. Multiple choice. The first American Labor Day was celebrated in New York City on September 5th, 1882, where workers marched from City Hall to Union Square. Which food would New Yorkers not have been able to enjoy at the post-parade picnics?
Turkey.
Popcorn, oysters, or grapefruit?
I'm going to go with grapefruit.
Good job. The first shipment arrived from Florida in 1885 of grapefruits.
Ah,
Yep.
see?
So good job.
Since-
True or false? Labor Day is the most popular day for grilling.
Ooh, that's a trick question. I'm going to say yes.
False. Labor Day is the third most popular day for grilling after July 4th and Memorial Day.
I thought about July 4th, but it's so hot in so many parts of the country. I was like, maybe Labor Day is better.
You were wrong, chef.
I was wrong.
Number 3. Which American First Lady championed offering healthier meal options as part of the National School Lunch and School Breakfast programs?
Michelle.
Yes.
My bad.
Abel.
Would a student be popular if they packed a durian fruit in their lunch?
Only with the people they
They would
hate.
be noticed.
They would be noticed, yeah. No, absolutely not. The stinkiness of durian open in a classroom would probably cause for a giant alert.
But I hear the flavor's good.
The flavor, the inside,
It's
the
like blue
meat,
cheese, right?
Yeah.
the flesh is just like a stinky cheese.
Do
You
you know-
remove the stinkiness and you eat what's inside.
Okay. Well, do you know that the smell can be so offensive it has been banned from mass transit in several countries, including Thailand, Japan, and Hong Kong? Interesting.
Where it grows.
All right. Final question. Speaking of labor, can you share a vegetable that is labor intensive to process, but is worth the effort in preparing it yourself versus purchasing it done for you?
Artichoke,
Agreed.
very intensive, hard to process for most people, but super delicious. When you get to the heart of that baby, oh, it's so good.
Better than jarred?
Oh, chard is easier.
No, she said better than. Is it
Oh,
worth,
better.
Is it worth
Yeah.
the effort?
Yes, it is very much worth the effort. I think that because of like anything with pain, once the pain is gone, it's such a pleasure to be there.
Good job. Well done.
And if you want to get rid of some of the pain, just use the little tiny baby ones.
Yeah.
They work.
Sure,
just
you
as
can
well.
always cheat, Tom.
Sebastian.
I'm
All
scared.
right. How many did you get, Terry?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. That's a B.
Seb, it's going to be
All
easy
right.
for you.
Let's go.
This is going to be fun. True or false? Labor Day is the official end to hot dog season.
Can't be.
I'm going to say true.
Good job. According to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, hot dog season begins on Memorial Day and ends on Labor Day.
What about baseball through October? Oh my! I know it's true.
That's funny. And during that window, Americans consume approximately 7 billion hot dogs.
Oh my
What, there's 300 million Americans?
330. Yep.
360.
I'm gonna
yeah.
say
Yeah.
330.
true.
Yeah, you got
Okay.
it. A common American school lunch consists of pizza, corn, canned fruit, and chocolate milk. Which country's common school lunch consists of chicken, rice, dolmas, cucumber and tomato salad, maybe there's a little feta in there, yogurt with pomegranates, and a mandarin orange or 2?
Greece.
You got it.
Oh, wow.
With a little help
Wow,
from the
nice job.
audience.
Used a lifeline there
A
and was
little cheating
successful.
going
Yeah.
on.
Yes, no shame in asking someone.
This
He
is
didn't
a-
even try and hide it.
True or false? Arachabutyrophobia is the fear of getting peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth.
Say it again, the word.
I gotta look at it again. Arachabutyrophobia.
Well, I think it's a made up word.
Aracha means round nut.
So yeah, true.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh my God. That was
Oh,
gift
hey,
wrap birthday
Sebastian.
present right
It's
That
there.
is- That is politically incorrect.
All right.
All right. Question 4. Enology is the study of what? Has to do with grapes.
Let me think. Wine.
You got it.
Wow.
And
Coca-Cola.
finally, can you share a vegetable that is so labor intensive or time consuming to process that purchasing it already prepared is a better way to go?
Well, the thing I initially thought of it's not a pomegranate. That's not a vegetable, right? That's
That's a fruit.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's like hard to deal with.
It's your birthday. You can get away with anything, apparently.
Let's say collard greens.
Okay. It's a
That's a
winner.
good-
That's hard, right?
Well, I don't know how
Not
you
really,
did
but-
prepared,
Okay, I
but
don't
That was wimpy.
Thank you.
That was wimpy
Good
for your
job. It was
birthday.
your
We'll let
birthday.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Sebastian. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
There you
playing.
go.
Cheers.
5 out of 5.
all right, that's an A.
All right.
Okay, Tom, you
All
ready?
right.
Did you stay up late cramming for the quiz?
Yes.
Okay, good. Here we go. True or false? In 1946, President Truman started the National School Lunch Program as a measure of national security.
You bet.
That is true. He did so after reading a study that revealed many young men had been rejected from World War II draft due to medical conditions caused by childhood malnutrition.
You know, it wasn't complete until Mr. Reagan added a vegetable to it called ketchup.
Ketchup.
Right. Right. Which is really a fruit.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You don't know that?
That he made ketchup of.
Vegetables so
yeah.
that kids didn't
That
have
is
to
true.
have vegetables in their lunch.
Wow.
I'd rather have school lunches from Greece. Yes.
There you go.
If you were making a healthy back to school breakfast consisting of oats, grated apple, nuts, and milk, what might you be making?
Muesli,
Yes. And
which
for
is different than mucus. Sometimes muesli causes mucus.
what if it's a Bircher muesli developed by the Swiss doctor?
Then you're
That's
totally
it.
healthy afterwards.
That's it. There
Yeah.
you go. Multiple choice. According to the Smithsonian, who was the first popular children's character to grace the front of the school lunchbox in 1935?
35.
You've got Porky Pig, Mickey Mouse, or Popeye.
35.
Ooh, that's
That's a hard
tricky.
one, yeah. I'm going to go with Popeye.
Me
I
too.
wish it was, but it was Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And 1935 is also when the 8-hour workday came into effect. Fact. Which
There is
seeds?
such a thing? Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, that's fun. Not in the restaurant industry. Number 4, which seeds, when mixed with water, can make a great substitute for eggs to use in baked goods you might pack in a school lunch?
To make a great substitute for
eggs,
eggs
it's 1 tablespoon of this and 3 tablespoons of water.
from a protein perspective.
From a consistency,
So
like a binder.
Chia seeds.
Yes.
Wow.
Good job. And there's one other.
Chickpeas,
Rhymes with snacks.
Rhymes.
flax.
Flax.
Yes, ground
But
flax.
we have to grind it. Yeah,
Yeah.
where
Yeah, you
chias
have
you
to
don't
grind
have
it.
to
No,
grind.
chias you don't have to grind. They go
Yeah.
either way, but it works really well. Okay, final question.
So does garbanzo bean
Oh.
juice.
Yeah, I
The
said garbanzo.
Aquafaba?
Chickpeas.
Yep. Yep, out of the can. A panda's primary diet is composed of bamboo. A group of pandas is called an embarrassment. Can you share a cooking experience that you might reflect on as an embarrassment?
You know, they know you better than you think.
Well, I was trying to think of something that I could say on the radio. I met my wife at a nudist club up in Snoqualmie. And when you're
True?
cooking bacon naked, it's really
Ooh,
a
it's presumptuous.
yes, exactly.
Very
So
presumptuous.
there you go.
You get extra credit for that one.
Yeah.
That was great. Well, you guys did really well. Who's the winner,
No,
Terry?
that wasn't
The
true.
winner is
Just in
Oh,
case
it
Sebastian.
wasn't
somebody
true.
Happy
Wow.
birthday,
tells my
Sebastian.
wife.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think Jackie's going to be happy with that.
No. Sebastian, happy birthday. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you. For
We're going to
having
give
me.
credit to the whole audience along with you. If you want to be part of our show, you can catch our taping on Friday mornings from 9 to 11 at Tom Douglas and Company. Look for the Hot Stove Society radio show, or just buy a ticket and come join us like these nice folks did at hotstovesociety.com. You're listening to us on Cairo Radio. The show is produced by Pamela Hinckley. Assistant producer today, Becky Guzack. Production by Sean McFadden, and our editor is Sean Don't Call Me Dottore. Remember, if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show on Cairo, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe to your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening and happy Labor Day weekend.
Nice job.
Was that right, Pam? Pam, was that right to say that? Yeah. Because it's for Labor Day, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Suddenly I'm like, wait, is that the right weekend?
All right, we need quiet on the set. Unlike the rest of the show, this one you can't talk through. Ready? Will you turn the hood off? No, that guy.
And the air conditioning is pumping hard.
Okay, you ready now? Hi, I'm Chef Tom Douglas.
And I'm Thierry Rotiro, the chef in the hat.
This afternoon on the Hot Stove Society show, we talk about bento boxes, the new rage for school lunches. Off-alley owners and partners Evan and Megna come to give us a little scoop on their restaurant down there in Columbia City. Kebabs on the Labor Day Grill, and of course, voracious eaters Becky Guzack and Peggy Vert dish on Eastside restaurants.
That's a wrap. Thank you so much.